Okay. Welcome, everyone. My name is Jeff Gorman with the Mobility Resource, and today I'm joined by auto racer Michael Johnson. Michael is preparing to start a new racing season in 2015 in the Pro Mazda Championship. Michael, good to see you.
Yeah, thank you.
Why don't you tell us all where you're at right now and what's about to happen for you?
Well, right now I'm in Houston, Texas. We're going to be testing at MSR Houston the next couple of days to get a good feel and good read on the car for this year. And we have Winterfest next week in New Orleans at NOLA and at Barber Motorsports Park in Birmingham, Alabama.
You're going to be New Orleans, pretty close to Mardi Gras, right?
Yeah. The Mardi Gras ends the day before we're there. So
I'm sure there'll be some residual fun to be had. Okay, let me go ahead and start. When you were racing, you've been racing ever since you were a kid. You were racing motorcycles. When you were racing motorcycles as a kid, was that really your goal, or did you always know that this would eventually lead to you wanting to be an IndyCar driver?
Well, I started racing motorcycles when I was 3 years old, so racing was always something that I've done and I've really loved to do. So until I got hurt, car racing wasn't really on my radar. And when I got hurt, I had to think of something that I could do, and go-karts was the most logical thing that me and my dad found, and I just went from there on to cars.
It worked out great. So what was going through your mind when you first, I guess it was Christmas Eve 2006, you were first able to get a hand-controlled go-kart, and you were going to, did everything start to open up in your mind, like, hey, this could start to happen for me again?
Yeah, and that was pretty much one of the best days since I've been racing motorcycles, is when I got to get in a go-kart and really just do what I love to do, and that's just race or drive something. And the light bulb clicked, and we figured out, yeah, this is something that I'm going to be doing, and might as well make it happen and do it good.
All right. Now, how did that eventually get towards getting into toward the IndyCar, the open wheel racing circuit, considering that NASCAR has been a little bit more popular, at least in the States, than open wheel racing? How did that become sort of the path you decided to go on?
Well, when we were racing go-karts, we ultimately knew cars was going to be the next option. So we did some research on what cars would be the best, and we came across the Skip Barber Racing School, and they had a deal where you could just arrive, and the cars were all set up. And we contacted Skip Barber and asked if we could set the hand controls up in the car. And they said, sure, go ahead, no problem, just got to do it ourselves. And they helped out quite a bit with it. They designed the hand controls, did a lot of it. And I'm glad I started with them. It's what started my racing career in cars. And I can't thank everybody from Skip Barber enough.
All right. Now, being a racer definitely takes a whole lot of athleticism. Not everybody knows exactly what it takes. You've been doing some skiing too as well. How has that helped you?
Yeah, I've been skiing a lot with the U.S. Nordic ski team and biathlon, and it's been helping out just with my endurance and strength, and just the different cross training between both of them. It gives me a different form of training. It's fun. I've always loved the winter with me growing up in Michigan. So it's something that I can really embrace and kind of have some fun doing it. And then at the same time, I'm hoping I can translate the two and bring them together for my racing program to combine them. I think I can bring in the publicity and the coverage I need to help it out.
I bet you can. Now, a while back, actually, I think it was 2009, you had a stem cell surgery procedure, and that's something that people don't know some about. There's some debates about it, but not a whole lot of people know exactly what that is in practical terms. What exactly did your stem cell surgery? It was in Portugal, right? What did that exactly entail, and how did that help you?
Yeah, so when I first got hurt in 2005, we saw the one doctor that was doing the surgery. His name is Dr. Carlos Lima. He was doing a conference on the surgery at the hospital, and we talked to him and we got some ideas, and he wanted to wait until I was 18 to get the surgery done, but we got it done when I was 17, and that was in Lisbon, Portugal, and I had the surgery September 11th of 2009. And so this basically what happened with the surgery is they went up through my left nasal cavity up into the brain, and they extracted stem cells and opened the spinal cord up where the injury happened. And the thought is for the stem cells to retrain the nerves how to work again. And so far, it's been a huge improvement. I have a lot of feeling in my hips and like movement in my legs and pressure. It's not a 100% cure. I don't think anything at this point could be, but it's. I'm definitely glad I got it done, and it's kind of stalled off from improving so far, but that's okay. I mean, it got me to the point where I am right now, and any kind of improvement and gain is just going to help my racing career out even more.
Yeah, that's one thing I was wondering about. Is that a kind of thing that, like I was wondering how long that lasts, and is that something you could possibly do again, or is it just sort of a one-shot deal? Did they explain that to you?
Yeah, so this surgery was like a one-shot deal. It was a pretty risky and pretty big surgery I had done, but I'm sure in the future if there's any other type of surgeries that can help and the recovery time isn't as much as the surgery, I'd love to get it done again.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about some of your heroes from a racing standpoint. One of them is Alex Zanardi. He's a pretty famous racer, but I'm not sure everybody really knows about him. What is it about Alex Zanardi that you admire, and obviously some of the paths that he's been able to trailblaze?
Yeah, Alex Zanardi is just a phenomenal athlete, and his determination to never give up and to keep pushing when a big injury happens. I mean, of course, he lost his legs, so he has a little bit different injury than me. But the determination and will to keep going and keep winning championships and competing and showing people to never give up, that's just phenomenal in my book, and I just love that about him.
And the other one is, of course, Danica Patrick, and she's definitely been a trailblazer, and she's got quite a bit of a success both in NASCAR and open wheel. What is it that you like about Danica?
The thing I like about Danica, she's shown people that you don't have to be either a guy to race, or you don't have to be, in my case, walking to race. So I like how she's paving the pathway for females to get into the sport, and hopefully I can do the same thing for injured athletes and show everybody that we all can compete on the same level and we all can really be a phenomenal athlete.
All right, now you're in what's called the ladder program leading up towards the IndyCar circuit. Now you had your first taste of the Mazda Series, I should say, in 2014. What did you learn from that first year on the series, and what are you looking to improve on this year?
Last year was a big eye-opener for me to really realize what it takes in the bigger cars. And we had quite a few mechanical issues last year, and we've been working really hard to improve those this year, especially with the hand controls. There's a lot of electronics that are involved. And this year I've been working really hard in the off season to improve my driving, and I'm really looking to get in the top 5 and win some races. I think that's very, very possible this year, and I can't wait to get out there and show everybody what I can do.
Okay. What kind of support have you had from some of the other drivers? Of course, you're actually a competitor on the track, but have they shown that they sort of admire what you're doing and, like that you're in there right in the ballpark with them?
Yeah, so far it seems like everybody's been really supportive of everything I'm doing, and I'm out there doing what I love. And out on track, we're just race car drivers, and on off track, where I'm really good friends with a lot of the drivers, and I like that, how we can be really close off the track and really close on track at the same time.
Okay. What's the scope of this series? Like, how long does it go? Like, how many races are you out there? Pretty much every week or every other week? Like, how does that go compared to, say, NASCAR or IndyCar?
Yeah, so we'll have a couple of races each month, and which is really good for us, so that we have some time to take a break in between. But then we're not waiting so long in between to race, which I really like that. We start in March in St. Pete, and we end in September at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. So it's going to be a really fun year, and I can't wait.
What are some of your favorite tracks on the circuit? Is there any that you really particularly like, or you think that maybe this kind of track might be a good one to possibly get a victory?
I really like the streets of Toronto. That's been
Ooh,
always
yeah.
my favorite track. I love Toronto. It's pretty much my home track since I'm so close from to the border in Michigan. And my other really favorite track is I'm starting to really like Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis, and that's the oval. That's the night race, and I can't wait to do that this year.
All right. Now, also one thing that's new for you this year is you have your representation with branded management. If I could thank Clint of them for setting this up. What does that mean? What kind of a step is that for you to have? And what exactly does that do for you?
Clint's been phenomenal. He's been really working hard on branding my image with me being in the chair instead of just a normal driver. I think that's really big for me to show everybody that I am different than any other driver, but I'm also the same. So I
Yeah.
think we're working really hard to get my brand out there, and I think it's been a ton of fun, and I can't wait for the next coming years to work with Clint. He's a really great guy.
All right. And how about have you had any sponsorship, or how does that work as far as I know? Race cars always are getting different sponsors and possibly representing their products, having their products on their cars. What sponsors have you been able to come up with?
But right now, we're still working really hard on trying to secure that for this year. Of course, we have my dad's company, Universal Coating. That's been, of course, on board ever since I started racing. But we've been really working towards next year, 2015, and even next year, hopefully for Indy Lights. And I hope we can get more people on board. There's a lot of companies that we're talking to right now, and hopefully. It'll all come through, and we can announce them right before St. Pete.
That'd be great. Now, you've got some fans around there. You're out there on Facebook and Twitter and stuff. How have you done as far as getting people out there to know who you are and maybe in the support that they've kind of given you over the last couple of years of racing and leading into possibly bigger stuff to come?
Yeah, so everybody's been on my Facebook and Twitter, and they're always following me. And of course, my website, michaeljohnsonracing.com, and it's been really cool meeting everybody on all those social media platforms. And social media is so big nowadays that you can really do everything you need just on social media. So it's been really fun and unique and interacting with everybody from across the world. So I can't wait to meet more people and get them following my story.
Okay, and you can go ahead and plug your Facebook and Twitter now. Would be a good time to do that before we wrap things up.
Yeah, so my Twitter is Twitter at Mike J Racing, and my Facebook is at Michael Johnson Racing.
All right, and finally, I know that you've said that you expect someday to walk again. I know for some people who can't, that's really their big goal, but I know you also have the big goal of competing in Indy now. So when you close your eyes, what dream comes out first? Does the walking come out first, or does being in the winner's circle in Indy come out first?
Definitely being in the winner's circle at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and that's my dream. Walking would be cool, but I'm not really focused on that right now. If that comes, it comes. But racing is what I'm working for right now, and that's the only thing that I'm really going for. And of course, with all the training I do, hopefully everything can come together. But racing is what I'm really looking forward to doing.
Well, I certainly hope that we can see you do that sometime, and I know that you can definitely do it. So thank you very much for joining us. Michael Johnson, great to have you here. And you can follow him on Facebook and Twitter, as we just said. And thanks for joining us, Michael. This is Jeff Gorman for the Mobility Resource saying we will see you next time.
All right, thank you.